Hello class, so I'm going to talk with you about how to develop your painting once you have your first layer established. And just as a review, in the first layer, you wanted to cover your whole painting in these pop art shapes. So you shouldn't have any white canvas showing. I have white canvas showing just because this is the demo painting and we're going to be focusing on this area. Okay, so this area, first layer is finished. The rest of it is not. So once you finish the first layer, then you can begin to stack shapes. And stacking shapes is just when you add another shape on top of a shape that's already been painted. And you could, create different colors in those shapes. And just with any of these colors, play around with them, experiment. You're only going to know what it looks like once you place it on the painting. And just realize that you could always paint over it. Okay, so I'm going to show you right now what it means to stack a shape. Okay, so if you want to get an idea of what a color looks like, just kind of dab it on there. We'll go a little lighter. I see this highlight on the top of the cat's nose, so I figured, hey, well, why not use that to create another shape? Now, if I didn't like how this looked, I could wait for it to dry and just paint a different color over it. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect right now. You could always refine it more later. I would just try to keep the flow going so you don't get too caught up on refinement right now. Okay, and I'm going to stack some shapes into the eyes. So I see there's a little highlight right here. You don't want to get too caught up on details yet, but since I'm right here, I might as well do them. Okay, now I'm gonna stack some shapes. This in this other area where I see a color shift. I think I'm gonna go a little lighter with it. In my case, I'm keeping some of the values just so I can have some indication of the underlying form. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just looking for shifts in color in the photo, and I'm just using those to create shapes that I then just paint using more expressive color. I'm just gonna change this. I don't know if I like how it fits in with the rest of it. And try to have fun with it. Once you get a good sense of the colors that you want, and you've stacked some shapes, that you're gonna want to start to refine your shapes. Okay, some shapes may need a second coat. Okay, because you're going for a nice, smooth and unmottled surface, and you may also need to attend to edges. Okay, that means go in and sharpen them up. For example, I could tell right here that this needs a second coat. Some of the pink's still showing through. So this will be done towards the end. Okay, you're gonna want to clean up all the shapes within the painting. Now, another thing I want to talk about are details. So details are something that can give the viewer something to look at when they come up closer. And I would say pick and choose your details. Not everything has to be detailed. So details can develop as the painting develops. I would just suggest not getting too caught up with them at the beginning. So for example, in this painting, I can make the whiskers, that could be a detail. And remember, when you try to match colors, let's say you're going over another color and you're trying to match it, realize that the paint dries a little darker. So sometimes you have to go a little bit lighter with it. So I'm gonna leave it at this level of development. Some of these shapes could be refined some more, but this demo will give you an idea of what you could do once you've established your first layer. And remember, painting's not a formula or like a 1, 2, 3 type process. But by starting off simple in general and then beginning to stack other colors on top of it, I think you'll have a solid direction in your painting.